कलशोद श्रीवासराघव गुरोस्तनयं ततश्च विद्या अवाप्य विबुधोत्तमतां दधानं कुर्वे सदा हृदि गुरुं करुणाकराख्यं लक्ष्मीनाथ समारंभां नाथयां न मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्पकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखरयोगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकालयतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि. Let us have a very quick recap of what we saw in the previous lecture. We were looking at Artha Panchakam and the last in Artha Panchakam, which is Prapti itself. So, what kind of Prapti should we really seek? Some people said, knowledge is everything. Knowledge is power. Ultimate knowledge is what we should seek. Some other people said, power is everything. Knowledge is just one kind of power, but there are other kinds of power as well. Power is everything. You should seek power. Some other people said, we need peace. We need happiness. That is what we seek. We just need eternal happiness. But all of these have a selfish element, right? I will get infinite knowledge. I will get infinite power. I will get infinite peace. Shri Vaishnavacharya said, what we should seek if we are not selfish, what we seek should not be necessarily something for ourselves. Why do I use the word necessarily? In fact, we should not seek for ourselves. We should seek only for Bhagavan's sake. What do you mean by Bhagavan's sake? Isn't he already fully knowledgeable? Isn't he already fully powerful? Doesn't he already have infinite peace and bliss? How could you do anything for Bhagavan's sake? Even if you say you are performing seva to Bhagavan, does he really need any seva? He doesn't need any seva. If I am old, I am not able to walk. A young person comes and assists me to walk. That would be called as seva. But if when there is no such problem, when I am totally fine, totally fit, when I am ashishta, dritishta, balishta, everything, when I am literally avapta samasta kama, one who does not have any unfulfilled desire, who does not have any unfulfilled wish, whose desires get fulfilled as they are desired itself. That kind of a person. What does servitude even mean? The point here is that we are not saying we help Bhagavan in certain ways. When we talk about servitude to Bhagavan, it does not imply that we are helping him. He does not need our help. We only need his help. But as we are performing service to Bhagavan, can we say that he gets happy? Many people say he gets happy when you perform seva to him. But even that happiness is metaphorical because he is defined as all happy. He is defined as eternally blissful. If any of you is unmuted, kindly mute yourself. So, in the context of moksha, we are to understand that Bhagavan is already happy. If he is already happy, why should I do service to him? He is not going to get happy by my service. What is the big deal? Such a question could also be presented. Hmm? Let us see certain questions asked in the context of moksha. Let us get the answers to those questions and then finally move to the next topic. Now, we said in the previous lecture that when you become a sevaka of Bhagavan, you would automatically get the other qualities, knowledge, power, and so on. How is it ever possible? That question was addressed. We said it would be consistent. Your power will be consistent with Bhagavan's power, therefore, there will be no conflict. Your knowledge will be infinite, we said. But suppose a question is asked, okay, given that I get infinite power, that because of this consistency of thoughts, words, and actions, there is not going to be any conflict with Bhagavan. But how can Sevaka Svabhava give infinite bliss or infinite power? This Sevaka Svabhava, as per Vishishtadvaitha, our original Swarupa itself is being Bhagavat Sheshas, being Bhagavad Dasas. It is our natural duty to perform seva to Bhagavan. Therefore, when we saw about the lives of Alvars, the Alvars that we saw, and the Alvars that we are going to see about, all of them, they performed seva to Bhagavan during their lives, and they would perform seva to Bhagavan after going to Vaikuntha. That is what they have taught us as well. When you are here in this life, you behave like a sevaka of Bhagavan. After getting moksha also, you will get the same svabhava. So a question could be asked, if here in this life, I behave like a sevaka, how will I suddenly become the master if I work as a slave? The answer is very simple there. We say, he has all the abilities, he has all the power. Whatever we attain, no matter which gati we attain, we saw about various gatis, right? There could be Naraka gati, Swarga gati, Moksha, Kaivalya, we saw all of them. Whichever gati it is that we get, it is not something that we earn and we reach. It is not like I climb up those stairs and I reach there. That is not so. The real thing is, I try to climb up the stairs and he pulls me up. He pulls me up. A person who does a lot of sins but does not want to go to Naraka might still end up going to Naraka. Would anybody go to Naraka and suffer willingly? People wouldn't. But we know for a fact that evil people do suffer. People who are very bad do get Naraka. Who gives them that Naraka? It is Bhagavan only. He grants Naraka. He grants Swarga. He grants Moksha. Everything is in reality done by him only. Oh, what about Yamadharma Raja? I heard that he is the one who decides. Vishnu is the Antaryami of Yama. Vishnu is the Lord of Yama. He is the controller of Yama also. Yama himself explains this very beautifully in Vishnu Purana. So, whatever Yama is doing is consistent with what Vishnu wants to be done. And therefore, dharma is established. Okay. Suppose I serve an ordinary master. You are telling me that Vishnu has infinite power, he has infinite happiness and everything, therefore he is able to give me. But suppose I present the question in a slightly different way. If I ask, see, when I serve a normal human being, that human gets happy by my seva and gives me something. I go to a workplace, I do some work, the boss gets happy, he gives me salary. That's how the world works. They get happy, they get satisfied. And that satisfaction is what gives me the salary. Suppose I do the exact opposite, I do not work properly. They will not get satisfied, therefore, they will not give me the salary. They will kick me out of the company. That is how the world works. Can't we assume the same thing about Bhagavan? We cannot. Listen, this is the Purva Paksha. Purva Paksha says, we cannot unfortunately think this way about Bhagavan because Bhagavan is already happy. No matter what seva you do, he does not need any of that seva. Imagine, I am recruited at a hospital as a compounder. I join the hospital as a compounder and I start seeing Jyotisha Shastra. I start telling the fortunes of people. I tell people, this is the problem. This is the prayaschitta. That is the problem. This is the prayaschitta. People follow it. Let us say, following my words, people get better. People get happier in lives. What is the purpose of a hospital? Well, it is to help people. I have also helped people. Will the hospital pay me my salary properly? Will it retain me in my job? Unfortunately, no. Why? You have done all of this astrology. You have been helping people. But of what use is your astrology to this hospital? I would be asked that question. How would you seeing horoscopes of people benefits the hospital? If it does not benefit the hospital, what is the point of keeping you in the job and giving you a salary? You have to satisfy the hospital in a certain way. If you cannot satisfy the hospital, you cannot get anything. Now, suppose I have been kicked out of the first hospital this way. I decide to go to a second hospital. I am out of money. I think, okay, this time, no matter what the hospital management asks me to do, no matter whichever opening they have, I will go and join and do that. Maybe it is a compounder, maybe it is a sweeper, whatever. I don't have money, I need food. Let me go. I go to the second hospital. There, I am told, sorry, there is no opening. We do not have any requirement. We already have all the people that we need. We already have all the staff that we need to do whatever we want. We do not have any requirement, therefore we do not need you. When we don't have any requirement, how can we recruit you? They asked me. And I returned dejected. Let us apply these two examples in our context. In the first example, whatever I did not particularly please the hospital. In the same way, and I was good, I was a good astrologer, I was helping people. In the same way, even if you live a good life, it may be argued that it does not benefit Bhagavan in any way. And therefore, there is no point. There is no need for Bhagavan to reward. Why should he reward us? Even if we live good lives, it is not going to benefit Bhagavan in any way. Therefore, why should he reward us? That is question number one. Question number two. If we really want to do something to please Bhagavan, if we say whatever we do does not please him, because he is already infinitely pleased, we go to Bhagavan and ask, how can I make you happy? But Bhagavan is infinitely happy already. All the possessions are already taken. No matter what I do, it is not going to help him. He is already self-sufficient. Just like the self-sufficient second hospital that does not need me and that does not recruit me because it does not need me. In the same way, Bhagavan being all happy, he does not need the jiva. So why should he give any kind of moksha? Even if I'm ready to do whatever he asks, why should he give me any command? And why should he give me moksha? These are the two questions. These are the sub questions inside our first question in the slide. Let us see the answer to them one by one. The first question is, even if you live a good life, you are not going to benefit Bhagavan in any way. Therefore, why should you even live a good life? What is the point? We say, no, if I live a good life, I'll get Swarga, I might get Moksha. As I get the acquaintance of sadhus and I start becoming one among them, I start doing seva to them. They teach me about Bhagavan, I do bhakti, I do sharanagati, I get moksha. They say, no, all of that is said in your scripture. But why should we believe in your scripture? Your scripture says that if I go to a hospital which does not get benefited by me in any way, I will still get salary. That sounds illogical. So why should we believe in your scripture? This Shri Vaishnava Siddhanta, as it is called, why should we believe in it? Why should we believe in the upaya? Why should we believe that the upaya mentioned by you leads to the prapti mentioned by you? That is the question. Okay. So the prapti upaya that we mentioned, how is it really going to benefit? The answer is very simple. Bhagavan is not selfish. We declared based on the declarations in the scripture about the qualities of Bhagavan. What did we say? We said he is void of inauspicious qualities and he is full of auspicious qualities. Selfishness is an inauspicious quality. The hospital is selfish. It thinks, how can I benefit? Therefore, when a person at the position of a compounder does not do the work of a compounder that is helpful to the hospital, it fires him. But Bhagavan is not selfish. As he is not selfish, even though he is not particularly benefited, he is able to help us. What about the second question we asked? Assuming that Bhagavan is selfless, that doesn't mean he needs our help. He doesn't need us. Why should he think about us? You could be a sannyasi who is absolutely selfless, living far away in the forest without the need for any human interaction. Correct? I could be a selfless person who is living somewhere in the forest. I may not be selfish, but being selfless does not mean that I should go about helping anybody and everybody, right? Even if I don't help anybody and everybody, I could still be selfless. Because helping is a choice. One who is selfish would try to help himself. One who does not think about helping himself is selfless. So if Bhagavan is selfless, that doesn't mean he should come and help every single person, right? We answered that question as follows in Siddhanta. We say, as per our Purvacharyas, as per the Shastras, as per the Alvars, Bhagavan is not only void of inauspicious qualities like selfishness, he is also full of auspicious qualities, one of which is compassion. And each one of his auspicious quality exists in the infinite measure, infinite magnitude. He is supremely compassionate. When there are 10 people who need help, a person who helps nobody can be called selfish. A person who does not think about himself but helps even one person can be called selfless. A person who helps 3, 4 people could be called compassionate. But a person who is supremely compassionate is the one who thinks about the benefit of every single person. So, when there are 10 people who are needy and I help all the 10 people, that is what will make me supremely compassionate. Bhagavan is supremely compassionate. He is selfless and he is supremely compassionate. Therefore, yes, it is true. Even if I enter Vaikuntha, there is nothing new that I can give to Bhagavan. He already has everything. There is nothing that I can give him. I was never really useful to him. I am not useful to him. I will not be useful to him. But he is supremely compassionate. Therefore, he wants to help me. He says, live your life in this way. Surrender to me in this way. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Have no doubt about it. Ma shuchaha. Aham mokshayishyami. I will grant you moksha. So Bhagavan does not gain anything. So this is not a hospital where, due to lack of openings, they do not recruit me. This is a hospital where, yes, they do not have any requirement. But seeing that I do not have a job, seeing that I am suffering in poverty, they give me a job. Whatever job I do need not benefit the hospital. But they are still giving me that job out of compassion. And like me, how many other people come? Everybody would get a job. Everybody would get to live happily. Everybody would be helped without the hospital getting benefited. Who heads this hospital? Bhagavan. So, Vaikuntha does not improve in any way because it is already the best. Bhagavan does not get any benefit from us because he already has everything. Yet out of his supreme compassion, he is able to help us. So, how can Sevaka Swabhava give infinite bliss or infinite power? Our Swabhava doesn't give infinite bliss or infinite power. It is his supreme compassion that makes him to give us happiness. He thinks, oh, look at this Jiva. Due to his imperfection, due to his mixed karmas, punya, along with punya, I do papa. I walk on the road. I see a beggar. I give him money. I move on. There is a roadside vegetable vendor. I argue with him so much. I say, no, no, you are selling me at such a costly price. I will not buy. I will not buy. I keep bargaining. I buy at 50% of the cost. I save 50 rupees. Then I walk. I find some place, some costly place. Let us say some place like Starbucks. What does Starbucks sell? Some coffee, right? So let us say I go to Starbucks, I buy a coffee. They tell me this is 5,000 rupees. I don't know how much they charge. Let us just assume they charge 5,000 rupees. For one cup of coffee, they are charging 5,000 rupees. I happily give them. What kind of person am I? When I saw a beggar, I decided to help him. Good man, right? But when the when a slightly better person was selling vegetables, I tried bargaining with him so much. I was not fair with him. And then I went to a place, a very huge outlet they have with AC, with some very costly seating, whatever, seating, lighting, everything is very costly. To them, who do not need my compassion, for something that is worth 50 rupees or maybe even lesser, I pay 5,000 rupees. Do you see the problem with humans? Sometimes they show good qualities at the right place, like helping a beggar. But did I give the beggar 5,000 rupees? No, I gave him 50 rupees. Where we should be showing auspicious qualities, we do not show them in the complete extent. I could have given 5,000 to the beggar, but I did not give. I gave only 50 rupees. He's a beggar. He will be happy even if I give him 5 rupees. I gave him 50, right? How could you question me? This is how my mind will work. But the same person, that same me, who gave just 50 rupees to the beggar, I am giving some 4,950 rupee profit to Starbucks. Where am I showing compassion? Where am I showing my magnanimity? Oh, take this, take that. I'm showing it at a place where it is not really necessary, where it is not really worth it. Oh, but isn't Bhagavan selfless? Without thinking about anything, he gave. There, in the same way, without thinking about my own benefit, I gave Starbucks. Can't you assume that way? No. Because if you were really that kind of a person, you should have given the same amount of money to the beggar also. So to beggar, I will give just 50 rupees. At some costly restaurant or some costly cafe, I will give so much extra rupees. My priorities are misaligned. I do not know what is correct, what is not correct. Even when I know what is correct, even when I know that I should feed the beggar, I am not showing it in the supreme extent, right? The maximal extent. And I also have some inauspicious qualities. That fellow who is living his life by selling vegetables, with him I argue for 15 minutes, prevent him from getting a profit, make him to sell at a cheaper price than what he bought. So I have bad qualities. Even where I have good qualities, they are not all that good. I might be thinking, oh, see, I gave 50 rupees to a beggar. Who could be so compassionate as me? I see the other people, they give 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 20 rupees. I gave 50 rupees. Who could be greater than me? I am the most compassionate. I saw the beggar's bowl. There were only coins. I am the only person who gave him 50 rupee note. In this manner, we compare ourselves with already imperfect beings. We compare ourselves with people who are worse than us. And then we think, oh, we are also good. We are also great. That is why we fail to understand the real nature of Bhagavan. What we really have here is a case of ahankara and mamakara. If we are to not have ahankara and mamakara. And if we are to have proper knowledge of what the scriptures say, we would appreciate it 100%. So those who come and question us in this manner, they are clearly either not aware that he is supremely compassionate and that he does not have any bad quality, or they lack ahankara and they have ahankara and or mamakara. One more question. You call it mukti, you call it freedom, you call it moksha. What sort of mukti? Right now, the scripture is there. Bhagavan has said, do this, do that. Don't do this, don't do that. He gave the Veda. Veda said, Satyam vada, speak the truth, dharmam chara, follow dharma, practice dharma, speak the truth. Bhagavan said it. But today, I have a choice. I have the freedom to decide whether to follow what Bhagavan said or whether to not follow. I can speak the truth to you. If I want, I can speak a lie to you. I have the freedom. But you people, in the name of Vishishtadvaitha, what are you saying? You are saying this is a very horrible state. You surrender to Bhagavan, behave like a sevaka, then you will get freedom. In that freedom, you will continue to be a sevaka. You will be a servant. You will be bound to Bhagavan. And there, in that bound state of moksha, you will not be able to do anything against Bhagavan. Is that really freedom? Is that really freedom? You call it moksha, but what are you doing? You are removing whatever little freedom I have in this life. If somebody asks a question in that way, how are we to answer? Of course, all these questions have an answer. But we could always say, oh, you want to be evil, is it? That is very wrong. But that is not what the perfect way would be. We should not attack the person, we should attack the argument of the person. Correct? The argument is a logical question. Right now, I have the freedom. Right now, I have the freedom. I can go to a temple or I can destroy the temple. Okay, if I destroy the temple, they will put me in jail, this, that, whatever. But I can at least think that way, right? I can think Bhagavan exists. I can think Bhagavan does not exist. The choice is in my mind. I have the choice in my mind, whether or not other people accept it. I have the ability to take the choice and take the decision. In the state of moksha, I will not have the ability because I am going to be bound to Bhagavan. I will not have these kinds of choices. So you are going to bind me. Let me assume that your whatever you are calling as moksha is real. Even so, that moksha is only going to bind me. Why do I need such a kind of moksha where I am going to be bound and where I am not going to have any independent mindset, where I am not going to be able to take choices by myself? How could you call that as moksha? Some people really ask these questions to us. I do hope the question is clear. Call it moksha. Then you say that you are going to be bound to Bhagavan, you're only going to do seva to Bhagavan, whatever you think is whatever he is already thinking. So essentially, people become robots after getting moksha. People are going to have a robotic behavior. How is that freedom? But this question is also incorrect. Why? Because these people have not understood the concept of moksha. Having the ability to make a choice in the mind is firstly not a very great freedom. Maybe today as a human, I have the ability. Tomorrow I am born as a plant. When I am born as a plant in my next life, will I still have the ability to take decisions? No. So whatever decision I take today is going to influence me tomorrow. We think we are the only intelligent people. We are the only living beings. That is not so. Look at the plants all around you. Every grass blade, right? Every blade of grass, every shoot of grass, whatever you call it. Look at the grass. Look at rice. Look at wheat. These crops, food crops, they feed the entire world. They are grown in such large quantities. These are also life forms. These are also life forms, right? Manushya is not the only life form. Isn't that so? There is Thavara also. Don't we say Deva, Tiryang, Manushya, Thavara, Jangama? Today, you have the ability to take decisions. You have choices. That is what you think. However, the cases inside which you make choices are already limited. I can decide whether to pay 50 rupees for coffee or pay 5,000 rupees for coffee. Can I decide whether to pay 50 rupees for coffee or 5 crore rupees for coffee? I can't. Why? Because I don't have 5 crores. So even when there is freedom, we think, oh, I have the freedom. I can decide what to do. I can decide whether to vote for the BJP or to vote for the Congress. I have a freedom here. That is true. But you cannot only for the BJP or Congress, correct? Can you vote for Putin or can you vote for Trump? You cannot if you are an Indian citizen. If you are an Indian citizen who does not have a Russian citizenship or an American citizenship, you cannot vote there. You cannot take decisions there. So our choices, we think, oh, I have the choice. But no, our choices are also limited. Correct? I can decide whether to vote for BJP or to vote for Congress. Can I decide to vote for my grandfather? No. Why? He does not have a political party. That is why. So our choices are limited by the constraints that exist around us. Many times we do not understand it. We think we are free in this world, but we are not that free. Free will is limited. As free will is limited, we are not fully capable of being free here. Okay, you are saying here there is no not complete freedom, but there is still limited free will, right? What is it in the state of moksha? There we say, oh, Muktatma also has the ability to do wrong things. Do you think Muktatma does not have the ability? Muktatma has the ability. Nityasuri has the ability. Bhagavan also has the ability. However, they are all pure. Therefore, they are eternally going to be good. Despite having the ability to do something imperfect, they will never ever do anything imperfect. And therefore, we say they do not have the ability to do anything imperfect. When we say Bhagavan has auspicious qualities, he does not have inauspicious qualities. A person comes and asks, can Bhagavan cheat people? Can Bhagavan cheat innocent people? Suppose we say, yes, he can cheat bad people. That person comes and asks, can Bhagavan cheat innocent people? We say, how is it possible? He is Bhagavan, he is all auspicious. How could he ever cheat innocent people? Then the atheist argues back. He says, if Bhagavan cannot cheat innocent people, It means he does not have the ability to cheat innocent people. Therefore, he does not have infinite ability. He does not have infinite freedom. Whatever you are calling as Sarva Shakti, Bhagavan, we call him as Sarva Shakti. He is having all the power. Does he really have the power? He can't, he doesn't, right? Then why do you call him that way? This is the argument posed by atheists. We say that is not so. Bhagavan has the ability, but he never exercises it. He decided never to exercise it, and therefore he never exercises it. And since he is truthful to himself, since he took the decision and has been consistently being as per that decision, since he is Satya Sankalpa, he would never do anything inauspicious. In the same way, the Muktatma still has free will. The Muktatma is free, 100% free. But the decisions that you would take when you are free are not necessarily random. When you are free and when you are also infinitely knowledgeable, and when your qualities, each one of your qualities is completely auspicious, automatically the decisions you take will also only be auspicious. And those auspicious decisions are by definition consistent with the decisions of Bhagavan. Therefore, you do not see Muktatma committing sins. They do not sin after attaining moksha. Does it mean they don't have the freedom to do it? No, no. It does not mean they don't have the freedom. It means they are knowledgeable enough to not do something so silly and so stupid. It means they are auspicious. So there is mukti. But along with the mukti, because there is complete knowledge, even by mistake, something wrong is not done. Because there is absolute righteousness, no sin is committed knowingly. So there is mukti, there is freedom. Yes, we are bound to Bhagavan, but what is the wrong in that? Bound to Bhagavan does not mean that I want to do one thing and he does not let me to do it. That kind of a situation never arises in the state of moksha. Yes, I will consider myself a sevaka of Bhagavan. However, everything that I think about after getting moksha, Bhagavan will be fine with it. Will Bhagavan ever say no to me? Today I ask, hey Bhagavan, give me 1 crore. I will go to sleep tonight. When I wake up, I should see a suitcase with 1 crore rupees. Do something, do some magic, create 1 crore rupees. Make some thief enter my house after stealing from another person. Make that thief to leave all the wealth here and then disappear. I can dream, I can pray to Bhagavan in whichever way I want, but will Bhagavan listen to me? Well, if I put forth such nonsensical requests, why will Bhagavan listen to me? He will not listen to me. But in the state of moksha, whatever I think, Bhagavan will approve. Whatever I ask for, Bhagavan will give. Should I really ask for anything? I don't need to ask for anything. Whatever I want, I will get. Yet due to sevaka svabhava, I will ask Bhagavan. Why? Why do I have the sevaka svabhava in the state of moksha if I am already completely capable of doing everything? Even the capability of the Muktatman, even the infinite knowledge, infinite bliss, and infinite power of the Muktatman are operative only by the grace of Bhagavan. Why is a Muktatma having infinite happiness? Because Bhagavan gave infinite happiness to the Muktatma. Being with complete knowledge, the Muktatma is aware that yes, I have infinite knowledge, but I have it because Bhagavan gave it to me. I have all the ability, but I have because Bhagavan gave it to me. When I know everything, whatever I have, he is the one who gave it to me. I am in the state of moksha, he is the one who gave me moksha. When I know that he is the one who gave me every single thing, naturally, I will get sevaka svabhava. I will want to serve him because I have auspicious qualities. If I have inauspicious qualities, if he had given me inauspicious qualities, I might think, oh, he has everything. Let me steal from him. There is an Alvar who literally tried to steal from Bhagavan. Of course, he did not recognize Bhagavan. It was a Leela. But that also happened. Can you really steal anything at all from Bhagavan? You cannot. But if I have only auspicious qualities, and if I know that everything that I have has been given to me only by Bhagavan, I would never feel like stealing. I would only feel like showing my gratefulness to him. And that is what all the Muktatman are doing after attaining moksha. They show the gratefulness. And no matter how much I show my gratefulness, it will never be over. Because even to show my gratefulness, whatever I do, whatever I think, whatever I speak, whatever action I do, whatever action I take, all of that is also possible only by the grace of Bhagavan. We say in Tamil, Avanindri, Anuvamma Sayadu. Even the tiniest of the particles, even a tiny atom-sized particle cannot move without his will. Everything happens only because of him. Therefore, even if I try to show my gratitude to him, it will never be over. I will be eternally grateful to him. That eternal gratefulness, whatever we can do to show it, we are doing. That is the Sevaka Svabhava that we have. So the Sevaka Svabhava is not something that is forced upon the Muktatma. It is something that naturally comes to the Atma when it attains moksha, because it is realized. Bhagavan's Swamitva is realized. His compassion is realized. And therefore, Sevaka Svabhava is not forced upon the Muktatma. Muktatma by nature takes the decision to be the Sevaka, because that is the only logical and righteous thing that could be done. Suppose a person comes and asks, all that is fine. Let us assume I got infinite happiness. Let us assume I got infinite happiness as well. I got infinite happiness. How can you get infinite happiness in the state of moksha? If you are a sevaka, how can you get happiness? That is simple. I will get happy by serving. He will get happy by being served. That is all. Will he really get happy? Or he will behave as though he gets happy. But I will definitely get happy by serving him. No. I will behave as though I get happy by serving him. Very technically speaking, when I attain moksha itself, I get infinite happiness. Once I have achieved infinite happiness, doing seva to Bhagavan, will it give me any additional happiness? It will not. Yet I will do seva to Bhagavan out of gratitude. It is out of gratitude that I do, and not something that I do out of hunger for happiness. So a Muktatma performs seva to Bhagavan, not out of hunger for happiness. Infinite happiness is already there. Bhagavan has given me everything. What more could I ask for? Rajaji composed the song, Kurai Ondrum Illai. I don't have any problem. I don't have anything that is a problem for me. There is no flaw. What is there for me to ask you? There is nothing for me to ask you. Of course, he is writing as a Baddha Jiva, but in the state of moksha, it is fully applicable. So, in the state of moksha, there is nothing to gain for the Muktatma by being a Sevaka. But it is the natural behavior that the Muktatma would choose. So the Muktatma, okay, fine, there is nothing to gain, but what if it loses by being a Sevaka? It is not necessary. See, Lakshmana was happy when Rama became king. Bharata, who could have literally ruled as the king, did not have happiness when he returned to Ayodhya and found out that Kaikeyi has asked for these boons, Rama has left for exile. When Bharata came to know all of these things, it did not give him happiness. Bharata was the Swami of Ayodhya, technically. Lakshmana is gone, Rama is gone. Lakshmana is already younger. He was not meant to be the Yuvaraja. Rama was meant to be the Yuvaraja. But Rama is gone. Dasharatha has given the boon to Kaikeyi that Bharata should be the next person in Ayodhya. But Bharata was not happy. What did Bharata do? He said, I do not need this kingdom. This kingdom that does not have Rama. I do not need this kingdom. And this kingdom does not need me. When there is Rama, this kingdom does not need me. Both me and the kingdom, we need Rama. So let us go and let us talk to him. Bharata goes to the forest to meet Rama. A large crowd follows him. The entirety of Ayodhya follows Bharata to see Rama. Everybody wants him back. Rama does not come. We know the story anyway. Rama does not come. Bharata returns with the padukas of Rama. When Rama said, I am not going to return, Bharata could have returned and sat on the throne, but he did not do that. Bharata did not feel happiness in sitting on the throne. That is Bharata. Bharata places the padukas there. He says, I will govern as a representative until the real king arrives. And Bharata got happiness in performing seva to Rama Paduka. Bharata did not get the happiness when he was told that he can rule, but he got happiness in serving Rama Paduka. And when Rama himself returned after the exile, he got happy that Rama has returned. Finally, Rama will be the king. That is how people with auspicious qualities behave. You give me Indra Loka, you give me Chandra Loka, you give me whatever, I am not interested. What do I want? I want only you, hey Bhagavan. I want to do seva to you. Indira Logammalum Achuvai Perinu Pendel. Arangamana Gurugane. You give me any position, it is not going to be as happiness giving as the position of Sevaka to Bhagavan, as the position of Sevaka to you. All this while I had forgotten. Instead of realizing your sweetness, instead of realizing the sweetness of being the Sevaka of Bhagavan, which is indeed the complete sweetness, which is indeed the real way, which is indeed infinite bliss, instead of understanding the greatness of that Sevaka Svabhava, I roam about in the world with Ahankara and Mamakara. I roam about not understanding the greatness, not understanding the sweetness. I seek inferior things. That is how we Badhas are. So anything that we would want for ourselves would be inferior. If we think that whatever Bhagavan wants, we should try to do, we should do seva to Bhagavan. Even there, thinking that I should do seva to Bhagavan is inferior to thinking Bhagavan should make me to do seva to him. As the Alvar said, do not have ahankara and mamakara. So even if I think, oh, I am the sevaka of Bhagavan, do you know how great I am? You know, I am a temple priest. Do you know how great I am? I see him every day. That is still ahankara. So, when the mukta performs seva to Bhagavan, there is seva without ahankara. There is only Shuddha Sattva Guna. All that is fine, but what if all of these are limited? Hmm? What if all of these are limited? You get happiness, infinite happiness, but only for some amount of time. Then you are reborn. Then what? Hmm? Vedavyasa declared, the person who attains moksha does not return. Does not return. How do you know that? How do you know that the person who attains moksha does not return? Shabdat, from the Veda. Veda has declared that the person who attains moksha will not return to be born, will not be bound by samsara sagara, will not be bound by the cycle of births and deaths. It is the declaration. Bhagavan has declared it at multiple places. The Veda itself has very clearly declared it. So one who attains moksha does not get bound again. It is eternal. Why should we accept moksha as eternal? Because the Vedas say so. The Vedas have declared moksha to be so. Therefore, we acknowledge it as eternal. One final question. The state of moksha, were we already in this state? Are we returning? Srila Prabhupada would use the term back to Godhead. Are we returning to the state of moksha? Or is it something that we attain afresh? We do say that moksha sthiti is the original sthiti of the Atma, but that does not mean that it is something that we already had. In Advaita Vedanta, the Nirguna Brahman is already real. But avidya has been superimposed on it, and therefore it does not realize the reality. The reality is already there, but the jiva has not realized it, therefore it is a baddha, as per Advaita Vedanta. We say in Vishishtadvaitha, the jiva is by default the sevaka of Bhagavan. You are already his servant. You have not realized it. Therefore, you are bound to samsara sagara. So, if you are already his sevaka, does it mean that you are already in the state of moksha and you have not realized it? No. Vishishtadvaita says, this state of moksha is not something that the jiva has eternally been enjoying. It is not as though you are already in the state of moksha and you did not realize it. One fine day you realized you were already there. It is not like I was already a millionaire. In my dream, I dreamt that I am a beggar. I dreamt that I am a beggar. I go to eat. I don't get food. I ask for money. People don't give me. I get stomach pain. I go to the doctor. He does not treat me because I don't have money. I see all of that in my dream. But when I wake up, I realize I'm already a millionaire. I literally own a hospital. I am the one who donates in charity to million beggars every day. After waking up, I understand. Is that the kind of case with the Atma as per Vishishtadvaita? No. Moksha is not something that you attain just by realizing the reality. It is not the state that you were already in, but it is a state that you attain. So, The word attain, when used in Advaita in the context of Nirguna Moksha, it is metaphorical. We do not attain, we do not reach there. We were already there and we realized that we were there, like waking up from a dream. But in the case of Vishishtadvaita, it is not like waking up from a dream. It is like actually going there. Literally, the Jivatma travels. Jiva being Anu, it travels through Archiradi Marga, crosses Viraja, and enters into Shri Vaikuntha. There, Vaikunthe tu pare loke Shriyasardham Jagatpatihi. Aste Vishnu Rachityatma Bhaktair Bhagavatais Saha. Shriyasardham Jagatpatihi Bhagavan is there along with Sri Devi. Sriman Narayana is there. Here, when I was on this earth, I said Sriman Narayana Charanam Sharanam Prapadye. And that prapati that I performed here made me a prapanna, made me a sharanagata. I remain a sharanagata after going there. So, there is a literal travel, there is a physical travel of the Atma, plus there is a new experience that comes when I get moksha. It is not something old that I forgot and suddenly realized, oh, I was always in Vaikuntha. I just thought I'm outside of it. But see, I was always in Vaikuntha. I just woke up from the dream. That is not how it works as per Vishishtadvaitha Vedanta. So we are not returning to the state of moksha, but we attain the state of moksha that is going to be eternal. I hope that is clear. If there is any question, feel free to ask.
No, it is clear and gave a lot of new perspectives and the relationship of our Anu-like relationship with infinite power God. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Swamiji, I have a question.
Yes.
In the previous class, you have told that there is no mere meeting point at the last, like after attaining moksha. So, like
Sorry, there is
for the
no
voice, for attaining, there is no meeting point after attaining the moksha, as you told in the previous class.
meeting point as in?
I mean, everyone go to Vaikuntha or like the Bhagwan abode. You told that there is a misconception that after attaining moksha, everyone go to Vaikuntha like this. You told.
After attaining moksha, after going to Vaikuntha, what is the misconception that I talked about?
Misconception that everyone get into a meeting point, like everyone go to Vishnu's abode, or like as you told previous class.
I don't particularly remember what I said. However, I can tell you what I would have said or what I would have implied if I had talked about this topic. Okay.
Yes.
See, when you say meeting point, when 10 people meet, they are still 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
There is no merging point. All the jivas will not become one. They will unite in the sense that they will all behave in the same way, yet they will be different from each other.
Okay.
You cannot be the same person. See, I am a different jiva, you are a different jiva. Let us say both of us attain moksha. We still will be two different jivas only. We will not become one with Bhagavan, we will not become one with each other. That will never happen. We will remain different. Yet we will behave in an identical manner. You will also behave in an auspicious way. I will also behave in an auspicious way.
Okay.
Suppose I go to moksha and suppose my grandfather has attained moksha. Can I meet my grandfather there? Yes, I can meet my grandfather there. That kind of meeting is there. That is possible. Merging is not possible. You cannot, when you say you become one with Brahman, In Vishishtadvaitha, when you say you become one with Paramatma, that becoming one with Paramatma is metaphorical. Metaphorical meaning, literally you don't become one with Paramatma, you just become so united with him, so close to him. Whatever you think is what he thinks, whatever he thinks is what you think. You think only about him all the time. In that sense, you become one with him. Yes, that is there. But you cannot actually become Bhagavan himself. You become neither Paramatma nor a single Jiva. Oh, the same Jiva is seen as different reflections. Do all of them merge into a single Jiva? No, that never happens. They remain different Jivas. That Bheda is always going to be there.
I got it.
Does that clarify?
Yes.
Because I don't understand fully your question, as I don't remember the exact words that I had said in the previous class. But this is the Siddhanta. The Siddhanta is that a physical meeting, oh, if I go to the Vaikuntha, can I meet my Purvacharyas? Can I meet the Advarsyas? All of that I can do. But merging with them, becoming one with them, I cannot.
Another question is the moksha concept of moksha is different for different school of Vedanta, like
Yes.
Vishishtadvaitha and Achintya Ved and other schools of Vedantas?
See, it depends. When you say Achintya Bheda Bheda, Achintya Bheda Bheda also acknowledges that moksha is the sthiti where you perform eternal seva to Bhagavan. Okay. In nitty-gritties, there will be differences. Like, for example, in Achintya Bheda Bheda, I have heard many lecturers use the word mukti in a different connotation. How you define a word also matters. We also say moksha is the greatest. But many times we say moksha, we say mukti, we mean the same thing in Vishishtadvaita. There, they will say, no, no, there is some differentiation. For a particular state, we will use the word mukti. For a particular state, we will use the word moksha. In that way, there are technicalities of language. That is possible. Point number one. Point number two, eternal service to Radha and Krishna is what they say. We say eternal service to Sriman Narayana. According to Vishishtadvaitin, Sriman Narayana is absolutely non-different from Radha Krishna.
Yes.
The Krishna of Radha is absolutely non-different from the Narayana of Shri. But if you go by what is said by certain lecturers there in the Achintya Bheda Bheda school, ISKCON to be more technical. See, Gaudiya is a big school. ISKCON is a subsect of Gaudiya. There are Gaudiyas outside of ISKCON as well. Okay. But if you go by what is said, they might say having Anubhava of Narayana is still lesser than the Anubhava of Krishna. But there, when they really use the word Narayana, they imply a different Narayana. They imply the avatara of a Vyuha. Paravasudeva became Vyuha Vasudeva. That Vyuha Vasudeva took forms. Hence, he is called Amsha of Amsha. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a shloka. But how exactly do you call that Amsha of Amsha? That Amsha of Amsha does not mean that he is a Jiva. He is still the same Paramatma only. The same Paramatma, from one form he takes another form, then from that second form he takes a third form. This explanation is given by Veeraraghavacharya in his Bhashya, in his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. He has given the explanation. The thing is, what they really imply when they say Vishnu, what they really imply when they say Krishna, that matters. If you see Srila Prabhupada, in his book called Krishna, which is based on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, you see how he begins. In the beginning of that book itself, he would have called Vishnu as the supreme personality of Godhead. Vishnu, the supreme personality of Godhead. But you see Bhagavad Gita as it is. He would have called Vishnu as a demigod. How could he call Vishnu both? Prabhupada was clear in whatever he said. For the ordinary reader, it might be confusing. But let us get out of this particular example. Because you mentioned Achintya Bheda Bheda, I started talking that way. Let us get out of this specific example and address your question in general. Is moksha defined differently by different schools? Yes. Advaita defines it differently. Vishishtadvaitha defines it differently. Dvaita defines it differently. But Dvaita and Vishishtadvaita, they will be 99.9% the same in the context of moksha. But in nitty-gritties, as I said, in the greater, finer details, there would be differences. That is why they are different schools. If all of them had all said the same thing about everything, there would be only one school.
Thank you.
But they do agree in the context of Bhaja Govindam, they all of them agree. Shankaracharya says Bhaja Govindam, Ramanujacharya says Bhaja Govindam, Madhvacharya says Bhaja Govindam. There everybody unites.
I got it, Swamiji. Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, then thank you for attending Shiva Samshapurshodi Kautubhasya Shivas Raghava Guru Staniyam Tatascha Vidyavapya Vibhota Matam Dhanam Kubel Dahridigam Punatarakhim